Alright, good afternoon everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 17th day of December 2025. A lot of stuff to go over, a lot of really good stuff to go over. You can see, I have this in here just to show you that this was the pre-market, 5 trade, 5 wins in the pre-market. But those, you guys have been getting a bunch of emails, because I've been showing you that it works all the time, after hours, when the market's, like you're going to see right now, when the market's active and in the pre-market, it works just fine. This is gold in the pre-market, and this is, I think that's the Russell in the pre-market. So let's just get into it here. We'll take some trades, okay? All that you're looking for here is, well, basically this. If you get an up close on that right now, right there, and which one was that? That was the NQ. Get an up close on that on the NQ, you're going to be looking to go long. Now, my NQ is set up for the 19 range. It goes to +4, which we just got. +4 after you get 10 ticks in profit. What you anticipate is that it's going to go from here to the other band. Alright? Now, one of the questions that came up was about the risk management that just came up. I wanted to go over risk management in this session with you guys. I have my risk management strategies that I use across all trade setups, across all platforms, across all markets. It doesn't matter what market you're using, it's based on the range bar size. That's what I use. You see, this is going up a little bit further. Now, we got 4 ticks on that first one. I gotta write that down. But, but I do it based upon the range size. Alright, each range bar has a different amount of risk. So this is a 19 range, so my stop on a 19 range is 25 ticks. Okay? And the question that Sid just asked is, do I have a unique setting for the swing risk management for this stuff? And I've been using what I normally use, but I want to say this. The gains on this are usually so big, when you go from band to band, you go from this one down to this one, even if you go down to the middle, the gains are usually so big that your risk could be a little bit bigger because you're going to make up your stop outs pretty quick. So what you could do, if you wanted to do, again, it's based on the bar size. It's not based on the market. It's not based on any of that stuff. It's based on the bar size. Do 1.5 bars risk. So if this was, say this were a 20 range, you could have a 30 tick stop. Okay? So it'd be a little bit further. Now, one of the things that I wanted to point out to you guys, this line right here, I call that the, what do I call that? The G line or something like that, right? Yeah, the G line, G length, G source, G midline. When price gets on the side of that, when you get into your trade, it will usually stay on that side. If it's going to keep going, it'll usually stay on that side until you get a good amount of profit in it. If it gets on the other side of it, then it's showing a little bit of weakness in the trade. Like this one right here, we got 4 ticks on that because my stop trailed +4 ticks automatically, and we ended up with 4 ticks right in here. But when it got on the other side of that right there, it showed a little bit of weakness, and you can see it's not going straight up like a lot of them do. Okay, so the answer to that, Sid, if you're going to do something unique, something that's not here, this right here, let me go over this again. This is the risk management that I use all day long when I'm trading. Okay, this is at targetviewtrades.com. tvtrades.com is a different one. That's this one. This has got a lot of information. targetviewtrades.com. If you're a subscriber, or even if you're in here and you're on the trial, targetviewtrades.com has a ton of information on it. Some of it's a little outdated now, but everything that we do that's recorded ends up here. Anything I put on YouTube ends up in this playlist right here, so you can go back and see anything that I put on YouTube right here. If you click on that, it's going to bring up this video, and then these are all the other videos that I've done in here. So, those are all the videos that I put on that playlist anyway. Usually, like next week's, you can go to targetviewtrades.com to sign up for this webinar. And usually it would be next week's webinar would be here, but we're at the end of the year right now, so I don't know if I'm going to have another one this year. Next week is going to be Christmas Eve. I don't think I'm going to do one then. And the week after that will be New Year's Eve, so I don't think I'm going to do one then either. Okay? You can also go here to take the trial if you want to. Now, I don't have anything specific up here in the menu for the bands yet, but I will put something up here in the menu for the bands. I'll remove something else in here and put in here something directly for the bands, how to use the bands and how to trade with the bands. Because so far we've had one trade here that was positive, one trade here that if I was watching we would have just taken some profit on that too. Now, 6 minutes of just straight talking right there. Did I even take a breath? The bands are pretty awesome. Honestly, I think the bands are probably the best thing that I've created because it's a single click. For those of you guys who don't know, we can go look at any market, any time frame, anything you want, and just go to indicators. And I changed the name of it here so it has the word bands in it. Okay, click on swing bands one time, and it's going to apply it to your chart. Now, when you get a gray arrow, it usually means the next arrow is the next bar is going to be your trade, right? We don't have a gray arrow here, so we're not ready for a trade yet. But right here, when this gray arrow triggered, it said the next down close is probably going to be your trade. When this gray arrow triggered here, it said the next up close is probably going to be your trade, and that's where we took 4 ticks profit. The next down close right here on the NQ will probably be the trade. Okay, so you just get ready for that trade. 5 points from the top of the bar is the trade. There it is. Here it is. Okay, now that should make it all the way down here. It's got a 25 tick stop on it, and it should make it all the way down here right now to 934 is where it should go. Okay, it's got a 25 tick stop. It may work, it may not work out, it may work out, but most of these trades are working out really well. Now, Sid, the question you had asked, to do a bar and a half did just stop me out. To do a bar and a half, I would have had my stop right up here. Okay, so that one stopped me out. So write that down. And they do stop out sometimes. That's unusual. Now, one of the questions that I got, because it's probably going to give us another opportunity right here to short. All right. And one of the questions that I got was, what do you do when you have 2 in a row like that? You can wait and skip it if you want. Usually, if you're in a strong trend, that's when you might get 2 in a row like that. We're not really in a strong trend right here. So when we get the down close on this, I'll probably take it again. I'll wait for a little bit of a pullback on it, though. The down close is going to be right about here at 53.75. It'll be right about here. So if it does give us that down close right here, whenever it does, it's going to give a down close eventually. And whenever it does, I'll wait for a little bit of a pullback. So right now it's got a high here. Now this one's got a high here of 63. So 5 points below that, it'll be 58.50. So you can have your down close right here at 58.50. There it is. Now I'll try to enter right there. Too late. I should have just had it waiting there at 58.50. Can I talk about the blue line? I just did talk about the blue line. Did you not hear that? Tamjo, just send me an email. Tamjo Group. Just send me an email with your ID. Okay, so that right there is exactly what you want. You want the black arrow outside the band. Now this black arrow is not going to be outside the band because it hasn't gone down low enough. That's exactly what you want right there. And we stopped out on that when it pulled back, and I should have taken that one. But that's not outside the band, so you're not going to take that one. Did you see how I knew that? Because the price was not outside the band. So I knew the black arrow was not going to be outside the band right there. Okay, I should have just taken that. We would have gotten all our ticks right back right there. But I'm not worried about it. We are early on. We are early on in this meeting. I intend to make a fair amount of profit in this meeting. So yeah, Tamjo Group, just send me, I can't believe I didn't actually already give it to you, but just send me an email with your ID in it and I'll set you up with it right away. Oh, when the meeting's done. Okay. Mark, the blue line, what I was saying just a minute ago about the blue line is when price, when you trigger into the trade like this one right here, a strong trade is going to stay on this side of the blue line all the way down, so you could trail your stop behind the blue line if you wanted to. Just like that, you can trail your stop behind the blue line. And if you get into a trade that happens to get on the other side of the blue line, it shows a little bit of weakness. If it closes on the other side of the blue line, that shows a little bit of a weakness in the trade. So it's time to start trailing your stop really close. That is one thing to do with the blue line. Now let me show you one other thing to do with the blue line. Okay, I kind of don't want to move off this, but I'm going to. I'm going to slide this off to the side. I want to show you something else with the blue line. Let me undo this. We have another trade coming up right here on the NQ. Okay, we need the down close. And that down close, you see the bar is outside. I mean, the arrow is outside the bands right there. So that's a valid trade right there. And here it is, and we're in it. And well, I certainly expect to win it. So I'm going to slide it off to the side, and I'll let you know when something happens with it. The stop is up here, so if it gets up to there, I stopped out. If it moves down here, then it's going to bump my stop to break even plus a tick after 10 ticks in profit. The thing that I wanted to show you, it's going to break even plus 4 ticks. I'm sorry, break even plus 4 ticks. Here, I'll slide it back over. It's just about to do it, I think. There it is. There's 4 ticks. It just gave me another 4 ticks. I don't know how many 4 tick trades I had today. But I was up 358 ticks on the NQ with one contract. 358 ticks with one contract today. Alright. That's it. That's all you have to do. That there. What I just did right there. What I should have done there. What I should have done there, I mean. What I did do here. I did that one. I did that one. And I did this one. Okay, so those are the trades that I've taken so far. I took this one, that one, I skipped that one, I took that one, and I took that one, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, the thing that I wanted to show you, I lost my train of thought. I have so many things that I'm trying to tell you. How about adding a directional bias? You don't need to add anything to this, Rico. I mean, you can, but you don't need to. A directional bias is going to screw you up. These trades are swing trades because they happen at the end of the swing. But if you want to do that, so you're only trading in one direction, that's up to you. Okay? Good afternoon, Rico, by the way. And Jim, hang on. I know Jeff, I see you asked a question, I didn't read the whole thing. Sierra Dom, that you can set up a second triggering stop to move into another spot and lock in more ticks when the market is moving fast to help get more profit locked in. Okay. What was the trade script update today? I changed the name of it a little bit, Wayne, that's all. I changed the name of it a little bit. Okay, it just said TV, it was basically, oops, I don't mean that. In here, it didn't say bands on it, and I kept getting too many questions about it. There's nothing that says bands. Where's the band one? Because it just said TV trade, swing trade. This right here is going to be a trade on down close. And there it is. That's another trade. So I made it say bands. I changed the name to bands. That was the only change that I made to it. Okay, so here we are in another one right now, and we're going to lock in more than 4 ticks on this one. There. That was more than 4 ticks. What was that? That was 24 ticks. And so now we're positive. We had one stop out so far out of all the trades we've taken. We've taken now 4 trades. And we've had one stop out of the 4 trades. But do you see how easy this is? It's outside the band, you take the trade. It's outside the band, you take the trade. It's outside the band, you take the trade. I should have taken that one, but I didn't. And the repainting right now, you can see how the repainting affects things right here, because I took this trade and stopped out on it, and that's not outside the band right now, but it was outside the band before. Do you see that? That's how the repainting affects things. In real time, it doesn't matter, okay? But when you're looking back at the history, I had one guy that signed up for the trial, and he signed up for the trial Friday afternoon, and he said he did back testing all weekend long, and he wanted to cancel his trial. I said, you can't backtest all weekend long. No, the thing that you can backtest all weekend, you can backtest what you can see right here on the chart. That's what you can backtest. But that's what the whole repainting issue. That's getting around the repainting. Like right now it says this one here was good, this one was good, this one was good, this one was good, this one was good. But this one right here was also a trade. That was outside the bands a few minutes ago, and that didn't work out. What you can do though, this is a thing that I created. You can go down here, you can undo the repainting if you want to. If you undo the repainting, then it spreads them out a little bit like that, and you can squeeze them in just a little bit more like that. Okay, and then you have the same effect. Alright, and these don't repaint. So this is what it is every time. You can see that one there was outside the band. That's the one I stopped out on. This is outside, that's outside. That's one I stopped out on. This was a good one. That you wouldn't have gotten, but we didn't take that anyway. This is a good one. This is a good one. So that is, you could code it to make the ones outside a different arrow color or something. I could code it to make it not show anything that's not outside. That's what I could do, JP, and I did actually do that at one point. Yes, Clive, I am pretty excited about it. Okay, so here's another one on the NQ. It's outside the band, and here it is. Okay, This is just, it's the best thing I've ever created, I think. And I've created a lot of things. Those of you guys that know me. If you haven't done this yet, you really need to. Okay? If you don't like the repainting, you can... Yes, Keith. The 15 ranges for silver people. For the ES, I mean. This is a 19 range on the NQ. Now, the 19 range is pretty quick, and this is something that I went over this morning. The markets were crazy this morning. I had 66 trades in 2 hours this morning. And it was crazy, and I wish I would have just done this all morning, because I might have still had 50 trades, but they would have just been a lot easier to do and see and take. How easy is it to just look at that outside the band and say, okay, I'm going to short, I'm going to short, I'm going to short, I'm going to go long, I'm going to short, I'm going to short, I'm going to go long, I'm going to short. How easy is that? We don't have a gray arrow here yet, so we're not expecting a trade, right? You get the gray arrow, you're expecting a trade. It's as simple as that. Okay, expand the chart and show what I mean about inside and outside the blue line. Yes. Let me slide that off and expand it like this, you mean? Oops, I didn't mean that. Sorry. Let me get this thing back. But yeah, Clive, I am excited about this because I think it's probably one of the best things I've ever created, and you guys should be able to make a fortune with it, because I am. And it's like Christmas early. I didn't go into this stuff as far as Christmas goes. If you haven't taken a free trial, I'm giving a deal for this right now. If you haven't taken a free trial, go here to tvtrades.com, and down here at the bottom, you click on any one of these orange things, it'll be down to the bottom. But I'm doing a Christmas deal right now, $100 off the annual if you want to do the annual. If you're already subscribed and you're on a monthly or a weekly and you want to switch to the annual, you'll save a bunch of money switching to the annual. Like a lot. If you're on a weekly and you switch to the annual, you save like $400. But if you want to do that, I'll prorate whatever you paid for so far in the month. Okay. But it's $25 a week or $90 a month, and that's all that stuff. So I want to get that in because I usually forget to do that. Yes, the repainting. That's what I was talking about. So this is non-repainted right now. This is not going to change. This is endpoint is what it's called up here. It says endpoint, no repaint mode. These are not going to change. These are not going to shift. They're not going to change. They're not going to do anything. Now, yeah, Mark, even Biden could do these trades. Oh, now, let's not get political. He might not be able to. Just so you know, for 19 tick, the stop is 25 ticks. No, it's the other way around, Wayne. The stop is 25 ticks. I have a 45 tick target. I have a 25 tick stop, a 45 tick target. With after 10 ticks, it goes to break even plus 4. Is how I have it set up, Wayne. Okay, was that the question you asked earlier? And Shab just made $450 from the last 3 trades. Is it so easy, Shab? Is it the easiest thing you've ever done? He said yes, sir. But I'm excited about it because you guys, and this should be great for all of you. You should be able to make a fortune off of this. And this is the easiest thing I've ever created for you guys. And if I get rid of the repainting thing, it's in no repaint mode right now. And it gives you the same information. Did you see the adjustment that I made, right? I came in here and I changed the multiplier to 1.8. Okay? So it's the same stuff. If I go back to repainting, then it's going to switch to the dash lines. And it's basically the same stuff. This is a little smoother. That's all. It's just a little smoother. And James said it's the best without a doubt. It's the best I've created anyway, right, James? I'm not so arrogant that I'm going to say I have the best thing there is, but it is the best I've created. I know that. That I can be sure about. I don't know about what else is out there, but I know. I'm just so excited about it because, I've just been killing it. And you guys have too. So, yeah, the multiplier is going to be the same for everything, Sean. I was saying earlier, and I didn't actually show you, we're going to have another trade here on a down close, so get ready for that. Get ready for that. It's going to be outside the bands because the gray is, because price is out to, you can have another gray. Because price is outside the bands, so you know it's going to be outside the bands. So get ready for the trade. Just get ready for the down close, and that'll trigger you into the trade. Okay, it's going to be 5 ticks from the top, 5 points from the top of the bar. There it is, going to be right here, I think. Right around 60s. Nope. Okay, you see how you didn't get another gray one there? So it's not going to paint a black one right here. It didn't give you the other gray one right there. That means it's getting into too strong of a trend right now, so it's not going to paint a black one. So, alright, so what I was going to show you is, it doesn't matter what time frame you're using. Okay, here it is on the 39 range. Same stuff. Bang, 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 bang. It doesn't matter what time frame you're using. It doesn't matter what market you're using. Give me a market. Give me a stock. Market, anything you want. I don't know when to change the range bar size, Casey. If you're not able to keep up with it, if it's giving you too many trades or not enough trades, that's when you change the bar size. Okay, now, Gary, can I add labels in the price band for the band levels? No. Well, it depends. It depends, Gary. If you're in the non-repaint mode, I think I might already have them over there. Let's see that. No, I didn't have them over there. Okay. I can't do that when it's in repaint because this is real time over here, and when it repaints these lines, it's a bar behind and it's coming out of an array. It's coming out of 2 arrays, so I can't add that. I can't add that over here. Sorry. Though I think if I do it in the non-repaint mode, I'm pretty sure I can add that over there. If I take that off, and you do it in this mode. And remember the change, when you go to this mode, the change that I just made to make it is close, just make it 1.8. Okay, right here, the multiplier, make it 1.8. I'm pretty sure I can add that. Make it go over there. Labels, value scale, precision. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I can make those go over there. I haven't tried to. I'm pretty sure I can. The multiply and repaint mode, Mark, I just leave it as default in the repaint mode. It is 2.1, I think, is what I have it at. Does this only work on TradingView? Yes, Bob, I only have this on TradingView. I'm not putting it anywhere else. TradingView is the easiest for me to manage. Okay, over the years, I've been doing this for almost 2 decades now, and over the years, in the businesses that I've owned, and the businesses that I am involved in, and that I've been involved in, I've had multiple platforms, 3, 4, 5 different platforms, and it's just so much of a pain in the neck to try to manage all that. And I'm just not going to. TradingView, there's over 100 million people using TradingView. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's easy for me to manage. So I'm just sticking to TradingView. So I just switched it to a 39 range. It's the same stuff. We're not going to get as many trade setups here. You can drop it down to a 9 range if you wanted to. And again, it's the same stuff. I think we're in endpoint mode, but it's the same stuff in endpoint mode. And is this at 1.8? Let's go back here. It is at 1.8. So in endpoint mode at 1.8, you get the same indications, right? This one would have stopped out. You get the same indications over and over and over again. TV Essential is good enough. Yeah, okay, so you get 2 charts with it. But this right here, if you take, I wanted to say that too. If you guys, you can take this right here. I shared this out to you guys. I'll add that right in here. Hang on, let me add it up here. Hang on, let me paste it right here. I'll paste it there. Send to all, and I'll paste it down here. In the chat down here. Okay, so you can take this layout right here that I have, and if you click on that link that I just sent to you all, click on that link, it's going to be a copy of this layout. Right, we're going to have another one right here. This is the ES though, and I'm not sure that the black line is going to be outside the bands because this is not outside the bands. It might be right on it, it might be outside it. You got to wait for the down close on the ES. Okay. The NQ on a 9 range. The NQ on a 9 range is going to give a lot of trades. Well, I just threw that there as an example. I didn't put it there to trade. Okay. Tam Joe Group, you can do it from the email that was sent out to you originally, or you can do it from here. If you go to tvtrades.com, it's down here at the bottom. the annual down here in the email that was sent out to you, and there'll be another one later. Okay, that you can use. Wayne, so you're on the 2025 contract for the ES, by the way. Why does it say? Oh yeah, I'm on the Z contract too. Let me go to ESH. That's probably why it's not giving me anything. All right, let's go to the H. Thank you. I didn't mean to be there. There we go. Thanks, Wayne. Okay, so let me read the rest of your question. So, using the 19 range bar back on the NQ, you get a gray bar. You can use a stop limit trade 4 points below the high to the gray, not of the gray bar. Not of the gray bar, of the bar after the gray bar, like this one right here. If this were a 19 range, you'd go 5 points below the top of that bar right there is where you'd go. And here, because it's 9 range, you do 10 ticks below. 10 ticks below on a 9 range. So that just worked out right there if I was doing that. But let me go back here to the 19 range so I can just do it with you if it happens again. You see how no black arrow followed right there. Usually it's going to have a black arrow that follows, but in this case it didn't. So if it goes from gray to gray to gray, or even gray to no black arrow, then just wait, because it should go back to gray before, well, it will go back to gray before you get a black arrow. Okay. Let me see. Mark, what are those small green and red triangles above and below the bands? They show when price gets outside the bands. Okay, they're supposed to show when price closes outside the bands. That's what it's supposed to show. It didn't show it in here for some reason. It showed it right here when it first closed out, and right here when it first closed out, and right here when it first closed out, and right here when it first closed out. That's what those are. They're not really very indicative or helpful. I'm going to remove those so they're not clogging up my code and all that. They don't really give you any value. That's what those are, Mark. Hang on, I just want to make sure I answered everybody's questions, because it's important to me that we answer everybody's questions. Alright, so the NQ seems to have slowed down right here. And you know, this isn't even the really active part yet. The active part is in the last 15 minutes. So I'm gonna dump the ES down to a 7 range. Okay, so we might have some trades there. I put it on the 15 range because it was early when it was active. The 15 range was giving up some trades. Alright, let's put this back on the repaint. And when I put it back on repaint, I got to go back here to that. Okay, and the ES is on repaint. Okay, so we should get a gray arrow here soon. Got a gray arrow there. Now that's not going to give us anything outside the band. Okay, because price is not outside the band. You see that? Okay, hang on. I can't see the questions. I thought there was a question from somebody who doesn't ask questions very often earlier. Carrie, I answered yours. Jim said he's using larger time frames and he's using the bands, and a close on the band is almost always a nice trade whether there's an arrow or not. Yes, if you have a close on the band and you use this blue line here, like this one right here, Jim. This one right here. This one right here. That's another thing of the blue line. That's what I was going to tell you guys. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. There was a thing I forgot. I totally lost my train of thought, but I remember it now. Don't let me forget. It's about the blue line in the not repainted mode. Okay, the S is about to have a trade here. Now this is not going to be outside the band though, I don't think. If we close down on this bar, that would be better. Then the next one would be outside the band. Okay, but because you see price right here is not outside the band yet, there's no guarantee that the arrow is going to be. Now it will be because it's hit the band. So if you get an up close here on the S, gotta make sure we get the S, please. An up close here on the S would be a long opportunity if you get a black arrow there. Okay, but you see how easy that is, right? Gray, gray, just look for the up close from here. It's hit the band, and up close here, the arrow is going to be outside the band for sure. Okay, so you just need the up close, and the way I have the ES going with the 7 range, hang on, I gotta go back to my regular 7 range on that. I don't have my stop set up for 7 range right now. 7 range, 10 by 30. Yes, okay, that's it. Go back to main. Look at that. And that. That's all good. Flip that. Alright, so we need the up close over here. We didn't get any gray arrows over here, so we don't have anything going on the NQ. There it is. Still need the up close on the S, but now it's definitely outside the band. So 2 points above the bottom of the bar right here, 89.25 up to 91.25. Just like that. Okay. And we didn't end up with any gray arrows here. There it is. There's our black arrows. So we got the trade going here on the S. Now we anticipate that that is going to get up here to 96, all the way up here to 96. Now it's got this number right here at 94.50 that it's going to try to get to first. That just switched down to 94. That's what it should do. All right. Now this has a 10-tick stop on it. On my 7 range, I have a 10-tick stop. Okay. Goes to break even after 4 ticks in profit. Okay. Gary, to confirm, any market, any bar length, no. It's all based upon the different size of the range bar. The risk management is based on the size of the range bar. Okay, I have that here. If you go to targetviewtrades.com, the home page at targetviewtrades.com, I have this, my risk management strategies that I use. This is what I use. It doesn't matter what market it is. This is the range bar size. It's all based on the range bar size. Okay. Gary? Oh, we're about to stop out on the S trade. That's unusual. I wasn't expecting to have 2 stop outs in here, but that's okay. Hold it. The question David just asked. Now that's a pretty good question you have there, David. How do I know which markets to trade? Because I just switched from the ESZ to the SH. For the indexes, anyway, I'll talk about it for the indexes on the CME. They expire quarterly, so every 3 months they expire. This is March. The Z contract was December. It goes March, June, September, December are the contracts. Okay, they're HMUZ are the contracts, and the way that it works, the new contract becomes available on the second. Well, it's available all the time, but it really becomes active on the second Thursday of the expiration month. Okay, on the second Thursday of the expiration month. So the expiration month is December for the Z contract, and this contract became available last Thursday. Right, a week ago tomorrow. Last Thursday became available, and the volume started switching over on Monday. So I go where the market has, whichever market has the most volume, David. Okay, that's what I look for. But when do I move to +4? Okay, the ones, Gary, if I have a bigger stop, like for the NQ where I have a 25-tick stop, and it moves after it goes to +10, so it moves all the way up to +10, and then I bump it to +4, because usually it's not going to come back 6 ticks to get that 4. Usually it's going to keep going beyond the +10. But like the ES, after after 4 ticks in profit, it goes to break even, because if after 4 ticks in profit it went to break even plus a tick, I'd always get 1-tick trades. I'd probably usually never get much more than a 1-tick trade. Okay, David, that's just that is just for the indexes on the CME, but it's also for the Russell too, and it's also for the currencies, like the yen and those currencies. But things like crude oil, they expire on a different schedule. Crude and gold, they expire on a different schedule. Like right now, we're in February gold. Okay. Does the ES lead the NQ? In my opinion, not really. I mean, I can't make any correlation that is consistent between them. There's a different group of types of stocks. Like the NQ is tech based, and the ES is more blue chips. So, the S is based on 500, and the NQ is not. So it just depends. Can I further refine to have the black arrows only print if they are outside the bands? Maybe that is selectable on and off of that. I did create something like that at one point, John, and I thought I had it created this morning at about 6 o'clock, but then I started getting really sleepy, so I thought I'd try to go to bed. And you sent me a message in Telegram. Okay, in Telegram. Okay, over there. Telegram. I do not have a message from you. Wait a minute. Oh, there you are. You're down there. Okay, you're down there. Okay. Yeah. I think I can prorate something on that one for you. Okay. I think it'll automatically prorate it. If I cancel it, I think it'll automatically prorate it. Okay. It gives me an option when I cancel your existing. That's what I was saying. For anybody that's in right now, do I take every trade, or would there be a reason to not take a trade even though I get this set up? I try to take every trade that I see that is a valid setup. Mark. That's your edge. Your edge is taking every trade that sets up properly. That's your edge. If you don't trade your edge, if you change it, then you don't really have an edge. And it's the same thing with risk management. You have to have a risk management strategy that you follow every single time, over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. So on that ES trade, the blue line was above price on the up close. Would that indicate a bad trade? Oh, you're talking about this right here, the one that I stopped out on a minute ago. Well, that's not really what I was getting at with the blue line, Jim. I mean, that could be something that that works out for you, but this would have stopped out too. Actually, this would have been break even. But usually it's not going to be on that side of the blue line when you enter a trade. And you see how it shifted? Because that was outside the band a few minutes ago. But it shifted. So if I bump this right now to be non-repainting, and I do it down at 1.8, there, that's what it looked like a few minutes ago. The thing that I was going to show you, and it's got to do with the blue line too. The black active bar on your chart before it changes to the next bar. Yours is red. How do you change yours back to black? This one right here, you mean, right? That one right there, John, is what you're talking about. I should have taken that trade. Sorry, I wasn't even looking at it. You might have thought I was looking at it, but I was looking over here reading stuff on my other monitor. Reading the questions you guys are typing in. Well, that was right outside, so it's questionable. But, John, to change that, go here, click on this thing right here. Okay, this gear up here at the top. It says settings. Click on that. Then go to right here, symbol, projection up and projection down. Click on those right there. Do not have these checked ever. Do not check those. Click on projection up and projection down. That'll change that. Okay, but you see that just went band to band right there. I should have been in that trade. And John, to hide that blue line, if you don't use it, you don't have to have it there. To get rid of the blue line, I think it's in here, right there. Okay, it's right there. If you don't use it, you can get rid of it. Did you see how I did that? Different John. John F and John L are asking me questions. Alright. So. Alright. Now I can slow down a little bit. How do you use it when it's on and showing? Well, like I was saying earlier, if you get on, like on a trade like this, you get on the other side of the blue line like that, it should stay on the other side of the blue line until you get to the other band. So you can trail your stop behind the blue line. That's one thing. And then there was another thing. I did already cover it. But then there was another thing that I was going to show you that I was meaning to tell you that you can use the blue line for. you know, the repainting stuff happens for the first 250 bars, alright? And then it stops, and then it goes to the non-repainted. But if you ever just want to use just the non-repainted, or if you ever want to go back and look at the stuff, because I know you guys, I mean, everybody wants to go back and see what it did in the past, right? Everybody wants to do that. But you can't do that with repainted bars because they change, like I just showed you. But if you use a non-repainted bar, or non-repainted lines like I just did right here, then they go back and they stay the same all the time. You can use that blue line in the non-repainted as a place to enter if you don't get an arrow and you happen to be outside the bands, something like this. You happen to be outside the bands, something like this, and it closes back on the other side of that blue line within the bands, like that, and that. You know, those are places where you can use that that blue line as an entry technique if you wanted to. You know, because I know a lot of people have issues with the repainting, and you know, if in real time it doesn't. In real time, the repainting has no effect at all. It has none. It's only when you're back testing that it has an effect. Okay. Okay. And in real time, now whether it's repainted or not, in real time, you know, this line right here is not repainted. The blue line is not repainted. So in real time, when you have that on there, you can use it to trail your stop. Okay, like Jim just said, if you have a trade like this one over here and the entry was not on the other side of it, that's going to find resistance hitting that line. So you might not want to do that trade. We're going to have a trade here again on the ES, I think, on the down close of the current bar. So there's different ways you can use it. Okay. And you can change blue to white or whatever color you want to make it. It's in the settings. Wherever the settings were, right in here. On style, right here. That's where you change it. And you can change it to red, yellow, white, whatever. I had it set to blue somewhere, one of these blues. I don't know which blue it was now. That one, I think. Nope, not that one, it's darker. That one. That's it. So you can change it to whatever color you want. Okay. Alright. You are welcome, Jim. And have a great Christmas. If I don't talk to you, I'll probably talk to you again, because you're in the morning sessions too. But now, you guys, if I don't talk to you after this, because I'm probably not going to do a meeting next week. Alright, next week is Christmas Eve, and the week after that will be New Year's Eve. So this could be the last one this year that we do. I'll be available to you guys if you have any questions, you need anything, of course, but I don't think I'm going to be able to schedule another meeting unless I really get wild. I want to do one on Tuesday next week, but we'll see what happens. I got a lot of stuff going on. We're actually supposed to close on our house tomorrow, but I know that's not going to happen. So we're just looking for a down close here right now on the ES. A down close would be a trade right there on the ES. Okay, over here we don't have any gray arrows, so we don't have a trade yet on the NQ. But if we had a gray arrow, we'd know to be looking for the down close for the trade. Okay. Still don't have a gray arrow over here. And the short videos. You know, I'll try to do that more. The short videos showing you just what's going on. I'll try to do that more. For some reason, I got away from it because I had a whole bunch of things come up in my life that, you know, one is finding land to build a house on, now building the house and all that stuff, and now we got to fire one builder and hire a new one and all this. It's just a pain. It'll be worth it in the long run. It'll be worth it. How do you renew your trading view and download these new charts? Your trading view or your TV trades? Down close here on the ES is going to be a short. Okay. Bob, did you mean trading view or did you mean TV trades? Because if you want to do TV trades, then you go to tv-trades.com and do it there. If you want to do TradingView, go to tradingview.com. You can go to You go to Target View Trades, and I have a whole video about it in Target View Trades. I'll show you in a sec. Okay, I'm waiting for the CS to give us a trade here. We do email the questions support at support at targetviewtrades.com. Sorry, Ken. Support at targetviewtrades.com is where you email the questions. Can I show the SDOM? Yes, I can show the SDOM. Here it is. Okay, the down close right here is where we wanted to short 94, a minute 94. So there it is. My stop is 10 ticks away. Let me hit window on top. It is on top. Okay. So this should make it all the way down here to 787 or 788. That line's going to go up as price moves sideways. This line is going to move up. So roughly down here, 787, 788, and be down here. Okay. That's where it should go. Now this is automatically going to go to break even after 4 ticks in profit. So when the yellow hits 4 ticks in profit right there, it's automatically going to go to break even. That's how it's set up. Okay, but it should go all the way down here. Right now. There, went to break even. Okay. So now the blue line is right here. So I could trail my stop. It's right at 94, so it's right at the blue line right now. Now as price continues to move down and this bar closes down, I could trail my stop. I'm going to lock in some profit right now, but I could trail my stop behind the blue line. That was probably a little aggressive there. But I could trail my stop right behind the blue line. And it didn't. The blue line didn't actually print on that last bar, did it? Yeah, I guess it did. It's covered up by the red. Anyway, that's one way to handle it. Okay, if you want to. Nobody told me about the NQ triggering over there. Yes, the after hours trading works great too, Ricky. After hours, pre-market, all of it. It all works great. With less volatility for sure. And you can do it on whatever time frame you want. Yeah, let me slide this back over here. Okay. Wayne, what are with the bands on my ES chart? Why are they solid? Because I had switched it back and forth. That's what I think this one is. Yeah, they're non-repainting right now. I'm in the no repaint mode on both of these right now. Okay, so well, at the market open, things are really volatile usually, Mark. The width of the bands, what is the width of the bands on the ES? On the ES right now, it should be 1.8, I think, because we're on non-repainting. Yeah, 1.8 is the multiplier. Okay, in non-repaint mode, that's where you should have it, 1.8. Okay, alright, we'll see you guys in January 2, Tim Joe Group. It is published, Lewis. It says swing bands on it now. In your invite only, it says swing bands in here. TV trade swing bands. Okay. It actually includes the whole swing trade. So at some point I'm going to merge them together. But so many people have, well, I don't know, at some point I'm going to merge them together. Mark. If you're already in an ES trade and you get in an NQ trade, do you take it or wait to the other? I take it, but I can trade 4 markets at the same time. Mark, I've been doing this a long time. 2.1 on repainting is what I use, Wayne. Yes, but Mark, I could have an ES and an NQ trade on. I could have an ES and a gold and an NQ and a YM trade on at the same time. That is the multiplier. That is correct, Wayne. This is a gray hour here. Now we're not outside the band right there. Price is not outside the band, so that's not necessarily going to be a thing. See, it's not outside the band, so that's not a trade. But yeah, keeping it simple, Casey. However you want to keep it. You don't have to have the blue line in there if you don't want to. You can have it repaint, you can have it not repaint, however you want to do it. The non-repainting, I would put it to 1.8, so the bands are still triggering just about the same time. You know, if I were to switch this to 19, oops, R, oops, not E, 19 range. Let's see if that switches. It did. We'll change it to an NQ. NQH. Okay, and now if I change this to be repainting, and 2.1. Okay, so you see how everything's just about the same. So if you want to have non-repainting bands, and you want to work with the non-repainting bands, just use a 1.8. That'll get you pretty close. Okay. Let's go back to the ES on this. What time is it? 3:24. So we've been going almost an hour, and I think we're positive overall right now, but we haven't traded all that much. We'll go back to a 7 range on this because that's what my DOM is set up for. And that wasn't a trade there, and I didn't do that one. Okay, that probably would have been a +4 or a break even. That would have been a +4. Up here, it would have gone a +4 and it would have taken me out a +4 right in there, if I'd have done it. Do I have any specific range for stocks like Tesla, Netflix, and Nvidia to trade options on those? That's a fair question. What settings do you use on Bitcoin? That's another good question. You don't see it in your invite only. You gotta send, Lewis, just send me your ID, okay? Email me, just in an email, put your ID in a subject line, and I'll set it up for you. Okay. Okay, so Bitcoin and stocks. And we're going to have a couple of trades here, I think, coming up. So let's just give that a second. You know, I can go out here and do it on the third one. We go out to a third one. Okay, so Bitcoin, because of the price of Bitcoin, you got to do that in like a 10,000 range. Okay. 10,000 range. There you go. And it works great. Right? This is today. So a 10,000 range. So every one of these bars is 10,000, whatever it is. 10,000 of them. But it's such a high price. Watch over here on both of them are about to give us trades. Where's the NQ? Get ready on the NQ. Get ready on the ES. Okay, we need up closes on both of those. There it is on the NQ. Alright, so here it is on the NQ. Stop just went to +4 and it just took me out with +4. And the ES hasn't triggered yet. Okay, and so the Bitcoin just gave a short right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to get a bigger trade here. I keep looking at that and thinking it's the NQ because my NQ is always on the right side like that. But that's what I would use in there. Okay. But Masood, you were talking about Tesla and stocks like that. It depends on the price of the stock. Get ready for the ES trade here, guys. Get ready for the ES on the up close. It depends on the price of the stock. Like Tesla, you know, it's $300, so you could use like a 250. There's the ES right there. Okay. You could use a 250 range on that. So every bar is $2.50. Okay. Did that just... Oh, it just gave me a break even. Okay. It bumped at 4 ticks and just took me out a break even. Okay. But let's do that. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. Put it on a 250 range. Then every bar is $2.50. Now, if you want to do a bigger bar, you're not going to get many trade opportunities, but if you're just doing options and you want to do options that start at the beginning of the day and you're in and out of them in a day, you do a $5 bar on something like Tesla, and you probably get 1 or 2 of those a day. Like this one here, this morning at 9:30 this morning, you had that right there that said to short it, so you could have bought puts right there. Okay, Masood? So you could have bought puts right there, and they would have worked out really well today. You see what I mean? And if you want to do that with anything, like the SPY is about the same price, so you'd use a $5 on that one. And well, that doesn't move around quite as much as Tesla does, so you could go for a smaller time frame on that moves around a little more. That's going to give you a few more trades. Okay, but that's how you would do that. Okay. The question was, do I have any specific range for stocks like Tesla, Netflix, and Nvidia to trade options? It depends on the price of the stock is the real answer. Okay, the bigger the price of the stock, the bigger the range is going to be, and it depends how often you want to trade. If you want to trade once a day, then for the SPY you're going to trade about every other day. Well, probably not even that, probably once a week with the SPY. If you have it on a 500 range, but if you drop it down to a 200 range, then you might get one a day. There's one there on the 12th and one here on the 15th. But you can see it works great no matter what you're doing. Okay, let's go back here. Bring it back here like this. Alright, so we're in non-repaint mode on both of these right now. And I wanted to go to non-repaint mode to show you guys that it still works well in non-repaint mode. Okay, you're still looking for the same type of thing. You just don't have to worry about it switching. You can do back testing in non-repaint mode. You can go back and do back testing and see how well everything works. Okay, it's just not as smooth looking in real time. Oops, did I click the right thing? It's not as smooth looking in real time. So like right now, if I swap it back here, we're going to have a trade here on the NQ. That is an NQ19 range, right? Yeah, we're going to have a trade on the NQ19 range. Crap. There it is. That gave me another vortex. I'm sorry I didn't have time to bring it over and show you, but I got into it and went to +10 and brought me to +4, and it gave me another vortex. I had a bunch of those today. They're just happening so quick that it's not giving me time to bring the DOM over and show you. Usually you want to get one of those that's just going to keep going. Okay. I guess I didn't have to put the little green arrow on there. So now, do you want to see any other markets? The S isn't really giving us a whole bunch to work with here. I want to get positive on the S. We're at -6 on the S. We had that one stop out, one break even, and one +4 on the S so far, is what we've done. The NQ we've had 7 trades on. And we had a stop out on both of them, but on the NQ we managed to get up to +21 right now. So we're positive on the session, but not as positive as I want to be. But it's going to get active here in a little bit. Another 15 minutes, it's going to be a lot more active. Alright. So, we have a good group of people in here. Again, we're going to have another trade here on the up close on the NQ. Be ready for it this time. Ready for it. Okay, we're going to have an up close there, and that'll give us a trade. The gray arrow says next up close is likely going to give you the black arrow, and that'll be a trade. Alright, when we get it, it should go to the other band. Okay, so we're waiting for that to happen here. It hasn't happened yet. Alright, still hasn't happened. Still hasn't happened. It's going to happen soon though. Oh, there it is. And it gapped up. Alright, well my stop's at +4. Here it is. Now my stop's at a lot more than 4. I don't know what it's at. 16 right there. And it got me out with 16. Okay. Oops, I don't have to put that in. Sorry. But you see how simple that is, right? It gives you the gray arrow, letting you know it's coming, and then you get the black arrow, and you just go. You can have your order ready, like mine was, and you saw the slippage I got on that. And Shahab says, the last hour with me, he's up $1,045 per contract. On the 7 range, I use a 10-tick stop, David, with, I think I have a 10 by 10 by 30 is what I use on the 7 range. I have a 30 tick target and a 10 tick stop on the 7 range. Right, and again, all that stuff is here. If you go to targetviewtrades.com, the 7 range is right here. I know it's, yeah, right here. It says 30 tick target. A 10 tick stop, tries to break even after 4 with a 30 tick target. Okay? If I get in market orders, always limit orders, Mark. Hey, that's funny. Market orders. Always limit orders. But what I do, and I had to show everybody this today because the NQ is bouncing around so much. If it's really busy and I don't have time to do the math ahead of time and put the order on a buy stop limit or sell stop limit order on ahead of time, then what I'll do is I'll wait for the bar to close. I'll just be hovering in the red or hovering in the green. And if I click on the red, like if I were to click on the red right now, it would put a it would put a limit order at the best ask. It would put a limit order right up here where the yellow is what it would do. Okay. If I were to just click on the red, and if I were to just click on the green right here, it would put a limit order right here at the best bid, right in here. Okay. Oops. I must have running onto the computer somewhere. Oh, I just lost my DOM. Hang on. Which DOM was that? That was the NQ DOM, right? Here it is. Okay, let me slide it back away. Let me put that on top so I don't lose it anymore. And you know what? Let me get rid of these other DOMs that I have shown here because I'm not trading gold or the YM. Okay. The question was, do I get in market orders or limit orders? It's always limit orders. Sometimes it's a stop limit. You know, if the markets are slow, it's almost always a stop limit order. But if the markets are fast, then it's just a regular limit order. Okay, so we should be getting gray arrows here pretty soon on that one and on that one. We should be getting gray arrows. We're at the outside band. So you see, if you were doing just the blue line right here, this is what Jim was saying earlier. If you're doing the blue line right here, you could take that trade without the arrow. If you're just doing the blue line here, a down close on that is going to be below the blue, like that. Okay, without giving you any kind of an arrow. Okay. So Shahab, in this session, Shahab has already made more than the annual in this session. More than the annual fee. Even my $100 off I'm offering you guys. That's like free almost, you know. $75 a month. That's what it comes down to. Alright, so we're waiting for more trades. We can go to a different market if you want. If anybody wants to see any other market, I can go here. Let's do the YM, because I had a YM down up. Let's go to the YM. I don't have it up right now, but I'll bring it back up. We're on the H contract on the YM as well. I'm not going to do that on a 200 range. I'll do that on a 9 range. That's how I was working with it this morning. Let me bring that YM down back up. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay. Oops. There. I think that, yeah, that's the YM H contract. Okay. So using the blue line, there would have been another trade right there. There would have been one right here. Actually, that wasn't. Sorry, not there. Right here, there would have been. Right here, there would have been. The arrows are a little more picky. When am I placing my trades, though, if I'm using TradingView for charts? I'm only using TradingView for charts, and I'm placing my trades when I see it's going to come. When I see it's going to happen, Brett. You know, you can be proactive. You know, this lines up with this. This is the YM. You see this number right here in black lines up with this right here. This is my Sierra, but I don't use Sierra charts. I use Sierra DOMs, and I actually trade at StoneX. But I use TradingView only for charts. Okay. And the whole reason I use this thing is because you can tell ahead of time that you're going to have a trade. You get the gray arrow, you can tell ahead of time that you're going to have a trade, or most of the time that you're going to have a trade. Every now and then you'll get one that doesn't have a black arrow after the gray, but most of the time you're going to get the black arrow following the gray. Okay. Oh, who am I placing my trades through? Okay, that was your question. Sorry, I read it wrong. StoneX is who I place my trades through. StoneX. I place trades at StoneX using a Sierra DOM and trading view charts. I know it's convoluted. It actually cost me, most of the people that have been following me for a long time, like you, Brad, but a lot of the people that have been following me for a long time, when I had to switch off a DT Pro and find another platform to trade on, a lot of people went to the Sierra. Now, Sierra does cost money. To use the Sierra, the whole thing about using Sierra, it probably cost me $100 a month. Okay, to use Sierra. Sierra itself is $36, and I gotta pay the exchange fees through Sierra, so that's $39 to get me depth of market and the exchange fees. And then I pay $10 to be able to trade at StoneX using Sierra DOM and not using the StoneX DOM. I pay $10 for that, so that puts us at about $90. Who are most of my Canadian clients using for a futures broker? Global Futures, Iron Beam, things like that. Okay, you want me to do the blue line again slowly? Okay. As a trading signal, let me do that a different way, Mark. Okay. Let me go in here and do it a different way. There. And let me do this so it's not repainting too. Okay. Not repainting. There we go. And wait, if we're not going to do repainting, then let's bump this down to 1.8. Oops, 1.8. Okay. Alright. So the question was, Interactive Brokers? No, Brad. I'll expound on that in just a minute, okay? Let me finish answering Mark's question. Mark wanted me to go over the blue line as a trading mechanism. Okay, so I have it on the endpoint. This is not repainting. So with the blue line in here, if ever price gets to the outer band and then it closes back on the other side of the blue line, that is one way that you can trade this. Alright, using the blue line. Okay, if you didn't want to rely on the arrows, if you just wanted to look at the blue line and do it that way. Okay, Mark? Now the blue line doesn't necessarily have to get on the other side of the bands, but price has to. And when price crosses back and it lands on the other side of the blue line, those usually work out really well. If you wanted to just use the blue line as a mechanism for trading. Okay, this is one right here. That wouldn't have worked out very well at all. We could have gotten it back right there. Okay, if you want to just use the blue line. Okay. Alright, so the other question that I was going to expound on, the other statement that I was going to expound on, question I guess was, is Interactive Brokers good for futures? They may have improved, but they were horrible for futures, and they charge full margins, and their rates were not good, and their interface sucked, and well, that's enough. That's enough, so no. But that was a couple of years ago. They may have changed their ways since then, but I doubt it. They were more of an equity place than futures. Futures was not their priority. As a Canadian, used to trade futures with Infinity, and then they got absorbed by Ninja, and Canadian can't. I know. Because I had a whole bunch of Canadian guys that couldn't use Ninja anymore back in the day. You're still looking for a good option. Look at Global Futures, Brad. How do you switch from monthly to annual? Shahab, all you have to do is sign up for the annual, and I'll see it go through, and I'll prorate whatever you got signed up for the monthly, and I'll cancel you monthly, okay? Oops, this was probably a trade right here, but I shut off the arrows. I forgot I shut them off. Okay, so we missed 2 trades there. No, actually we didn't miss any. This is the one trade right here. But I don't think I took that trade, I think. No, it's the YM. I didn't take any trades on the YM, so I missed 1 trade. Was that okay, Mark? Was that a good explanation? Slow enough? Do green and red triangles have no, the green and red triangles don't have anything connected to them, Clive. I'm going to take those things off because they're just a distraction. I know you want them to. Why don't I use the Amper Ninja Trader? Well, because almost 20 years ago I started using Daniels Trading, and I was loyal to my broker, because my broker way back then, probably until Christmas, John, is what I was thinking. We almost have a trade here on the ES right now. I was loyal to my broker because, way back then when Daniels Trading was a smaller shop, they used to really work with me to do a lot of things from a vendor perspective. And and their prices weren't the best, but their service was great. Back then. But then they got bought. They originally got bought by OEC, and then OEC got bought by Gain, and then Gain got bought by StoneX. But it's still the same broker. And now he's a vice president at StoneX, so I still have him on speed dial, and he'll still answer my questions and all that stuff, and respond to me if I need to. But I don't need to most of the time. I'm looking for a short here on the YM and a short here on the ES right now. Okay. Not the quality of the signals, it's just the quantity of the signals, Sean. That is Brad. Yeah, 866-928-3310. But, what are those small oranges? I'm going to shut them off. I'm going to shut them off. I'm going to go in here and shut those stupid things off. You guys keep asking about them, and they don't have any value. Okay? They don't have any value whatsoever. They show that price crossed above the outer band. That's all. That's all. I'm going to remove those from the options. You guys won't be able to use those anymore. Okay. The YM just triggered, and the YM just did something. I think I have the YM to go to. I'm sorry. Okay. Alright, the YM just triggered, and the YM went to break even plus a tick. The NQ did not trigger, but I took a trade on the NQ thinking it was the YM. The ES triggered, and here's... Wait, I'm mixing it all up. I got it all mixed up here. The YM, my DOMs are in the wrong place. The YM just gave me one tick. I need to put my DOMs in the right place. The ES is over there. I just mixed everything all up. So I have a short right now on the ES that I didn't mean to take, because I thought it was the YM. I'm locking in 4 ticks on it. But here's the ES. And no, I did mean to take the S. Alright, good. I did mean to take the S. Good. Okay, so then I can lock in as much as I want on that one. There we go. Alright, there's 8 ticks. Alright, so I did mean to take the S. Alright, it was the NQ I didn't mean to take, but I did take a blue NQ right there by accident. Alright, so I got 8 ticks on the S, and I got 1 tick on the YM. Whew, I just confused myself there completely. 1 YM, 1 ES for 8 ticks. And I won't count the NQ, but I'll show you the NQ. Hang on. Let me see. Oh, I thought I got a lot more on the NQ, but I guess I didn't. Right. I guess I got a break even on the NQ, or I got 2 ticks on the NQ. Alright, so I thought I got a lot more than that. Alright, that's not what we're showing you. I thought I got a lot more, but I didn't even mean to take it. I took it by accident. Alright, so we had a trade there that we got 1 tick on. We didn't have a trade there. I'm sorry, we had a trade here that I got 8 ticks on. We didn't have a trade there that I got 2 ticks on by accident and 1 tick. And we had a trade here that I got 1 tick on. Whew, get it all straight. So far I've had 2 stop outs on all the trades we've taken. And it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trades with 2 stop outs so far. But you see how simple it is, right? And now the NQ has a valid trade. No, it doesn't. It's in the middle. It's not a valid trade. What am I thinking? It's not a valid trade. The NQ has a black arrow, but it's not a valid trade. Alright. Sorry. I was confusing myself there for a second. And I thought this was going to be easy because I was only going to talk about this. I was only going to talk about the swing bands. It's been a long day. I've now traded like 90 times today. Alright, well, it's 3:48. We have about 12 minutes left. I'm going to go fill out my sheet here in a second. We don't have any trades right here at the moment, so let me go to the Wednesday totals, because I haven't done anything for today yet. It is 12:17. And so far, this is the NQ, I think, right? We're at 37 ticks on the NQ. This is the Russell. We got nothing on the Russell. We have 1 on the YM. Nothing on gold, nothing on crude, and on the ES, we are now up to 2. So we're at 2150 on the session. We've had 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5, 10, 13 trades with 2 stop outs so far. And that is 84% or break even or better. This number becomes a 33. There we go. So we're not at the daily, the session. The session average is 4,300, and we're at 2150. But we're getting to the active part right now. We usually have a lot of trades coming up. I'm just getting into it right now. So now my DOMs are all in the right place. I'm ready to trade. Do the gray arrows have an alert? Yes, they do. And I'm going to make it, all the arrows actually have an alert. But I'm going to make it so that, I'm sorry, I meant to do it up here. I am going to make it, where's my alert thing? Here it is. I'm going to make it so you can choose alerts that are outside the bands. Alright, so you only get like the black arrow alerts outside the bands. The gray arrows you're going to get whenever because they happen inside and outside the band. But I'm going to make it so you have just alerts outside the bands too. You can choose that. Okay. But there's already alerts for all the arrows right now. There's already alerts. Oops, I shouldn't do this in queue. Guess I still can. It didn't go into profit at all. Alright, the ES has a trade. That's outside the band. The NQ had a trade. I didn't do the ES trade. I did do. I'm in the ES right now. Here it is. The YM didn't give us a trade. So the ES needs to go to 4 ticks to get to break even. There it is. I'm going to lock in 1 tick on that because I don't have much on the ES right now. We did have a stop out earlier. It's our 5th ES trade. And now let's see. We don't have anything else right at the moment. But yeah, Brad, StoneX may be able to do something in Canada. I don't know, Brad. Give Bert a call. They may be able to do something in Canada. Okay, we're about to have one here on the NQ, so get ready on the NQ. Alright, we need the up close there on the NQ. There it is. Right, here it is. Hasn't gone enough to get the stop to break even yet, or break even plus anything. And the stop is 25 ticks away, so it's right here. And it just stopped me out. Okay. Well, that kind of stinks. Oops, let me write that down. It's our 3rd stop out altogether. Alright, we're about to have another one over here on the ES. We just need the up close. And that as a low. Come on. Do I not have the right thing? Here it is. Well, there it is right there. Okay. There it is right there. I don't know why I put that green dot on there. This is not going to be a trade here on the NQ. This is a trade on the ES in a minute. Here it is. We don't. Looks like it might stop me out. Come on, man. Get up there. It did stop me out. You stink. I feel like I keep missing all the trades. Let's see. You have a great holiday too, Rico. And we're waiting. So that wasn't a valid trade there. I think it's going to be Wayne. It might be next year. I know it's not going to be next Wednesday. I know that for sure. Okay, none of you guys would even come next Wednesday if I had one. Christmas Eve. Everybody's probably got other things to do. I know we we hadn't put up any Christmas decorations or anything like that. But Christina, the home health aide, she was just itching to put her decorations up. So I took out the boxes and she did it all. She put everything up. She was like a machine. Garland, the tree, all the decorations on the tree, the stuff on the mantle, stuff on the tables around the fireplace, all that stuff. Alright, so the YM, I'm looking for a trade here on the YM. We need an up close on the YM. That's going to trigger the NQ. If you're doing the blue line thing, the YM just triggered and it's all the way up there, and the YM just hit some kind of target there. I don't know what my target was on the YM, but it just hit something. Do I trade in the room? In the room I use CFRN indicators, Brad, because that is a CFRN room. It's not a TV trade room. I do use a TV trade range trigger in there, but that's all I use in there. Okay. Now, let's go down to the bottom. Let's see, filled and filled. Wow, that was it 30 ticks? No, it was not 30 ticks. Okay, I thought it was 30 ticks I got there on the YM, and I was like, that could not be 30 ticks. It was 10 ticks. I don't know how I managed to do that either. Alright. The 30 tick was my target, and that got cancelled. That's what I was looking at. So it's 355. And those last two stop-outs kind of stung a little bit. Okay, so we started out. Stop out there, we had another stop out there, we had another stop out there. So we have 4 stop-outs on all these trades so far. And the NQ just had another trade right there. And what am I doing with what, Brad? That was 4 ticks right there on that. YM's got another trade. The ES, is that what you're asking? What am I doing with the ES? Is that what you're asking? I just noticed the ES. Okay, I just noticed it. So I just took it because I just noticed it. I probably shouldn't have done that, but now it just went to break even. Now break even plus a tick. The YM just gave me 1 tick. The NQ, okay, it's all happening really fast. We got 1 tick there, we got 1 tick there, and we got 4 ticks there. That's what just happened on all 3 of those trades. So there's 3 more trades. Went to 11, that went to -6, and the NQ went to 16. Okay, that's what you're asking, right, Brad? Am I doing better with CFR and TV trades? I'm really doing well with both, but the TV trades is a lot easier to do. Jim, if you're gonna do the endpoint, change it to 1.8. If you're gonna do the endpoint, all right. But Brad, I'm doing well with both. Just the stuff I do in the morning. I mean, it's a lot more work. You know, in there I'm teaching you how to trade. This stuff is just telling you when to trade. It's not teaching you how to trade, it's just telling you when to trade. But the stuff I'm doing in the morning is a lot of work. It's a lot more work than this. Yes. Well, I don't use any of them in here. I use a TV Trades range trigger in there. But in here I don't use any of those indicators. These are all new things that I've created. Everything in here is new. Okay, it's 3:57. I'm hoping we're gonna have one nice trade here as we round up this meeting here, finish up the hour. Get to the top of the hour. We haven't had one really good trade anywhere yet. Our biggest trade was 8 ticks on the ES. We had a 20 tick trade on the NQ, I think, one time. Alright. Yes. Do I trade the morning session with the same stuff I'm using here? No, I don't. That was the question that Brad just asked Mark. The morning session when I'm trading, I use different things. Because it's a different business. It's, I'm doing different stuff in there. The stuff that I'm doing in here is to make it as simple and easy for you guys to just know when to put a trade on as possible. Okay. As possible. Okay, the NQ just finally got a good trade. Okay, we're at 94. We're 94 up to 99.50. That was 22 ticks. And then it just reversed going in the other direction. Okay, we're at +4 in the other direction, and we just got +4 in the other direction. So we got 22 that way and 4 that way on the NQ. That makes it 38 and then 42. Makes it a little more reasonable. We don't have anything coming up over here because we don't have any gray bars, or gray arrows. We don't have anything over here because there's no gray arrows. There we go. On the YM, the short, I just shorted it right here. And that stop just went to +1. We'll go to +6. And we're out with 6 on that one. Okay. I was hoping we were going to get some trades here right at the end. 17. And there was one right there on the NQ. I didn't get that. I was writing down the one right before it. I missed that. Getting a little activity here right at the close. Alright, get ready on the NQ. There it is on the NQ. And it's already gone 4 ticks into profit. Well, it's 10 ticks into profit, sorry. 10 ticks into profit. It gapped down, so I ended up missing the whole thing. It's giving it another one right here, though. Nope, it didn't. See how it missed it right there? That is unusual. Something didn't print right there. Because every black arrow should have a gray arrow before it, so something didn't print right there. That is unusual. Alright, well, it's 4 o'clock anyway. I do want to trade a little bit more, just to see if we can get anything else in here. We don't have any gray arrows here. We don't have any here. We don't have any here. You got 3 points on the long. Good, Guido. But no, Mark, the stuff I use in the morning is different. That's it. MyTradingIQ.com is where that stuff is. Okay? It's not the same. You know, you're learning how to trade there. That's why it's a daily thing, because you're learning how to trade there. You're not just getting indications to trade here right now. This is where you want to trade, exactly where you want to trade. And that's why that other one it's $5,000. And this is not. This is $25. All right, so let's just wrap it up with this. There's a short here on the S that's going on right now. Okay, here it is. And it hasn't gone 4 ticks into profit yet, so I haven't bumped my stop. Now it's gone 4 ticks into profit. We'll lock in just 1 tick there, and we're probably going to end up with 1. Yep. We'll make that be our last trade of this session. So we're negative on the S, actually. All right. So let's finish out the Wednesday total sheet here. On the NQ, we are now up to 42 ticks. On the YM, we are at 17 ticks. And on the ES, we are at -5 ticks. So 23.25. Total number of trades now is 5, 10, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 trades with 4 stop-outs. So 84% of our trades were break-even or better. And we didn't make the normal average that we do, but I missed a bunch of things in here. Does 1 tick on ES even cover commission? Yes, well, 1 tick on the ES is $12.50. My commission is $2.70. What is the website for the other stuff? I mean, other than TV trades? It is this one. There. mytradingiq.com. Okay, that's the other one. For TV trades, which is what this is about. Yeah, that's the other one. For TV trades, what this one is about. If you want to take a free trial, go here to tvtrades.com, take the free trial there, and we have a Christmas special going on right now for the annual if you want to do that. This webinar will be posted here at targetviewtrades.com. Alright, it'll be here on the home page at Target View Trades. Right here on the home page at Target View Trades. Okay, you'll be able to see it there. You'll also be able to see it here on past webinars. Right here. This was last week's. You'll be able to see it here. If you don't have charts, and Bob, you had asked this earlier, you can go here to targetviewtrades.com, click on Getting Charts right here. Click on Trading View Charts and go through all that to get the charts. Alright. But the home page here, it'll have the sign up for the next webinar once I decide when I'm going to have the next webinar, but it's not going to be next week for sure. Okay. And this webinar will be here, and this will take you to the YouTube page where you can watch all the past webinars that I have. Okay. Didn't get any more trades while I was talking about that, so I don't feel bad about that. Okay, Bob, did you see that? That was at targetviewtrades.com. Targetviewtrades.com. Click on Getting Charts right here. Alright, the essential is fine. And let me just show you. If you click on the monthly right here, the essential is $14.95 and the data is $7 a month. So that it ends up costing you $22 a month to get the essential with the real-time data. They have a free version. You can get the free version. You get a lot less stuff with the essential. You get 2 charts per tab. You can have 5 indicators. You can have a bunch of different layouts and stuff like that. But with the free version, you can only get 1 chart. You can get 1 indicator. You have ads popping up in front of you, but the real-time data for the free version is $30. So for $22, you can get real-time data and better charts. So go with the essential, get the real-time data for $7. Okay, it's $22 to get the Trading View charts running on your desktop. Okay, and that was from here. If you go to targetviewtrades.com, just go Getting Charts, click there, you sign up for it there. And if you go in the setup right here, I think in this setup video right here is a few minutes long. I think it's all right, 8 minutes long.
So you've signed up.
You can watch that there. Okay, if you go to setup. Alright. Well, anyway, back here. So this is how we ended up with the totals. 42 on the NQ, 17 on the YM, and -5 on the ES. 23.25 with 10 contracts on 23.25. Alright, with 1 contract it was 232.50. We took 25 trades. That's a lot of trades. 25 trades in this session with 4 stops. Right, 84% of our trades today were break even or better. I mean, even this morning, I had a lot of stops this morning. You know, I took 66 trades this morning, I think. 66 trades with 14 stops this morning. So this morning, 78% of my trades break even or better. But, yeah. That's all that stuff. Alright. Yes, you guys all have a... If I don't talk to you before the end of the year, I'll have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. Jahab, if you guys, the upgrade thing, if you want to switch to the annual, you want to take advantage of that deal, click anywhere at tvtrades.com. Go down here, it's right here. Okay, the Christmas special, $100 off. Just click there, and you can take advantage of that. If you're already on an annual, this is what John was asking earlier, if you're already on an annual and you want to take advantage of this one, because his annual doesn't renew for a month, he can jump in on this one if he wants to, and it'll prorate what's left to his other one. It'll charge him for this one now. So that's how that would work. And if you're on the monthly or the weekly and you want to upgrade and take advantage of the special, I'll still prorate whatever you have left in whatever period you've already paid for. Okay? It automatically calculates that too. I don't do that calculation. They do. Stripe does a calculation for me. They say, do you want to prorate the refund? And they calculate it to like the minute. So it's pretty cool the way they do it. Alright, so I am really excited about this. This is the best thing that I've ever created. is the best thing I've ever created. The easiest, simplest thing to do. Put it on your charts and you just take the trades. I mean, you saw how easy it was to take the trades. You see them coming and you can take them. Not everyone's a winner, obviously, but they're in there. And it's easy to take the trade, and it's easy to get your goal for the day. And you can do this stuff at night. You can do this stuff in the pre-market. My commission, you mean, Brad? Well, I took 25 trades with 10 contracts, so that's 250 round turns, right? Right? 250 round turns. Let's do the math. Clear. 675 bucks in commission in this period. And what did I make? 23.25. So it wasn't great, but I netted 1,650 bucks in this session. But I did have 4 stop outs, so that is what the net was. Stripe doesn't show you the prorate. No, it won't show you that up front. Yeah, I'll prove it, and then it'll. Let me show you an example of one, because we had another one that I prorated today. Hang on, let me undo that, and undo that, and undo that, and I'll show you an example of what it looks like, the prorated thing. Here's what it looks like. Because this was a monthly fella that went for the deal, and he got a prorated amount of $21.58 of his monthly that he had left. So it automatically issues it back to your credit card. Okay, whatever you got on file with us, that's how it works. Okay, so once you do it, I just have to say that I want to do a prorated refund, and then send a refund receipt, and then it'll do all that stuff for you. Okay, those are the options that I have when I cancel your existing one. Bert's number, yeah, it's 866-928-3310, Brad. 866-928-3310. And wait a minute, while you're here, there's another Canadian guy in here right now, Bob Z. Who do you use, Bob? He asked me a question or made a statement like 3 right above yours, Brad. Bob is in Ontario. Oops. Yeah, Babu. I'm gonna stop the recording right here. I hope you all have a great Christmas. All right. If I don't talk to you before then, have a great Christmas. Be safe, make good decisions, and I want to see you guys all back after the holidays.